Good morning, and thanks for joining me again today. We're continuing to go through the Old Testament selection from the daily lectionary, which brings us today to the book of Zephaniah. I'll be reading from Zephaniah chapter 3, beginning in verse 11. Zephaniah is a series of oracles or prophecies against not only Jerusalem, Judah, but the nations surrounding. And that is the section in which we find ourselves now, prophecies against the nations around Judah. Beginning in verse 11, it says, "On that day you shall not be put to shame because of all the deeds by which you have rebelled against me. For then I will remove from your midst your proudly exultant ones, and you shall no longer be haughty in my holy mountain. For I will leave in the midst of you a people humble and lowly. They shall seek refuge in the name of the Lord, the remnant of Israel. They shall do no wrong and utter no lies, nor shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouths. Then they will pasture and lie down, and no one will make them afraid." The oracles of judgment that we so often pay attention to when we're reading through the Old Testament, especially the prophets, seem to be absolute at times, seem to define God's character throughout the Old Testament. But I remember hearing someone say after they read through the Old Testament as fast as they possibly could, that the overwhelming impression they got was one of mercy. That every time God declares judgment, God declares mercy as well. And so even as God declares these judgments against the people of Judah and against the nations around Judah, God also offers hope. God recognizes all of the deeds by which you have rebelled against me. But then God offers a path to healing and wholeness and being at one with God again. All of this is done so that the people can be in relationship with God. Not just Judah, but also the people around Judah. The commentator for this passage, Robert Bennett, looks at Zephaniah chapter 3 and sees how Zephaniah is reversing the fortunes, is declaring that the fortunes of the people will be reversed, that all of this judgment will end in mercy. It says, with dramatic difference. "Joy is the key," he writes, "to unlocking the message of God to Israel, to the nations, and to all of us today. The promise expressed here is that all nations, along with God's elect, will with one voice call on God's name." There is hope indeed for all of us. And God, at the end of the day, God's final word to us is one of mercy. Would you join me in prayer? God, what would you teach us today in our trials? Make us receptive. Help us to see your victory and compassion rather than look for easy answers to our troubles. So make us expectant, Lord, and patient. Amen. Have a blessed day.